Hello, Tom Stapleton here from the Wakefield Community Access Television Station. And today we have a special program. I know it says Town Clerk's Report there, but this one's going to be a little bit different. Today we have Lily Duval, who's going to be asking our Town Clerk, Betsy Sheeran, a number of different questions. This is her second show doing this. She did interview our Town Administrator person, Steve Mayo, and she's becoming pretty popular. She wants a show of her own, so she's working hard at it. So here we go. Lily, you're on. Do your thing.
So what was the process of getting your job as the town clerk?
The process of getting the job as the town clerk. Well, first of all, honey, I was on the Board of Selectmen. So I chose to resign from the Board of Selectmen, which legally I did not have to do. And when I first ran for this position, it was a one-year position, finishing out a term, an unexpired term. So the first thing I did was resign from the Board of Selectmen. Then I took out papers. A lot of people say they pulled papers. I took out papers and got more than, but you need 50 legitimate registered voters here in Wakefield that will sign and say that they would like you to run and put your name on the ballot. So I secured that number. They were then certified by the office of the town clerk, and then filed within a specific number of weeks before the election, number of days, and then my name was on the ballot for the town election. I did win in April of 2016, but it was only for 1 year. So I had to repeat the process again and run in April of 17 for a 3-year term, because the town clerk's position is for 3 years. So I did get the required number of signatures again, file them with my office, because now I was already town clerk. I didn't touch my own paperwork. I would never do that. And the people in the office certified the signatures, and then my name went on the ballot, and here I am. So that's the process. I'm not getting into the very specific parts of it, but that's what, anyone that's running for election on any election has to have if they want to be on a ballot that Wakefield people will be using in the voting process, they have to have a certain number of legitimate registered voters that live in Wakefield.
Do you ever get bored of your job?
Oh no, there's not a boring minute to it, honey. From the minute I get there until the minute I leave, we must cover probably 18 to 20 different categories of responsibilities within that office. So we could be filling out a request for a birth certificate for one person. We could be looking up Board of Appeals decisions for another person. We could be filing census reports that comes in. We could be doing dog registration. We could be doing X, Y, or Z. There's always something different. You would never, ever get bored. We have a new law that just came in Massachusetts, the Freedom of Information Act. I check that every time I possibly can. That's another responsibility that we have, and that has to be filled, answered, and the request filled within 10 business days. So that's time sensitive. We also, people can come in and fill out marriage certificates, people that want to get married within Massachusetts within 60 days. And so there's always something. I never get bored, and we have different requests. We also have, a year and a half ago, I had a charge machine put in so that people could call in from other parts of the country rather than writing a letter, requesting a copy of the birth certificate or death certificate or marriage certificate. They can just call us up. We put it on their charge card, mail it right out to them. But something that some people don't know, and I'm just going to add in this little part. People think just because they live in Wakefield now that they can come and get a birth certificate. That's not necessarily true. The two communities that we would have would be the community in which the child was born. Now, we don't have a hospital here in Wakefield. Melrose Wakefield is located in that community. And also the community where the parents or the mom brought the child home to. Okay? So somebody that you know named Kaylee Sweeney. We'll get into that in a while. They were not living in Wakefield, so her birth certificate will not be in Wakefield. Okay? It's the community in which your parents were living, or your parent, or your grandmother, or whatever, brought you home that day. Marriage certificates. It's not where you get married within Massachusetts. It's where you filled out your request for the license. And if you did it in Wakefield, always and forever, that's the only place you'll be able to get it. Okay? That's just an aside for anyone that's listening.
If you could have any other job, what would you work as?
If I could have any other job, what would I work as? Well, I have to go back to all of the jobs that I've had over my long and storied career. When I was in high school and college, I was a waitress. Also in college, I worked at City Hall in Woburn in the Department of Public Works. That was through college. I was a teacher. Then I was home for a long time. My sister and I owned a delicatessen. My husband and I at that time owned a fitness center. Some friends and my sister and I owned a basket business, gift basket business. If I could work in any of those, it would be none of those right now. I would love to work as a, well, it wouldn't be work. I'd love to volunteer as a tutor. I love math. It's probably your favorite subject, was it? No, it's nobody's favorite subject, I can tell you that right now. I love math. And I would try to help kids that have a block about it. And that's usually what it is. And my favorite math is geometry, which you haven't had yet, and most people shudder at. But I would love to be, I guess if I had to do anything, I'd be a geometry teacher. And I did teach math in high school and college, but I'd go back as a math teacher.
Do you ever think you'll change jobs?
Not at this stage, no. I won't be changing a job unless I choose, well, there's two reasons I might leave. No, I love the job I'm in now. I love it. And I love serving the public. I love having people go away satisfied, get what they want if it's humanly possible. No, I think this, although you never know. You never know. But I'm perfectly content and perfectly happy just where I am right now.
What is your life like at home?
Well, you know that better than anybody, don't you? When Mr. Stapleton, when Tommy told me that someone wanted to interview me, and he said her name is Lily, I said, you know, I'll bet you money it's Lily Duval. And he said, well, I don't know her last name. I said, I'm telling you, it's Lily Duval if she's in middle school. And the reason I knew that, Lily, is because you know what my life like is at home, because you come over and swim in my pool with my sister's granddaughter, Kaylee Sweeney, whom I mentioned earlier, and Patrick, and you've been over a few times. My sister and I live in a duplex side by side. We've lived there since June of 1972. And she takes 1 month off a year to go up and stay at Hampton Beach, and you went up and stayed with her over the weekend. So when I called to tell her that, oh, guess who's going to interview me, she said, I know who it is. She said, she's here right now. It's Lily Duval. So it's a nice place to be. I love living that close to my sister. She's my only sister. I have no brothers. And we've lived together, except for maybe a year and a half before we moved to Wakefield. We've always lived in the same house, so to speak. So it's great. Everybody's great.
What do you think Wakefield needs?
What does Wakefield need? Now you're putting me on the spot. I love Wakefield. I chose Wakefield to live here because we looked at a lot of other communities, and we chose Wakefield. What does Wakefield need? Well, off the top of my head, I really can't think. Everything can always get better. I think, all right, I'll tell you what I think it needs. I think it needs, and it's not a tangible object, I think more people need to become involved. I think we have, other than in the presidential election, we have a very low turnout for any of the town elections. Even in the state elections we do. But in the town elections, we don't have the turnout that we should have. Now, that could be for many reasons. One of them could be everyone's satisfied with the way things are going. The people that are running, they're very happy to win or whatever. So that's the positive side of it. The negative side of it is that some things happen either at town meeting or boards and committees decide that some people aren't satisfied. You can't please everybody all the time. Just can't be done. And I think that rather than complain, that people should become part of the solution and become involved, find out exactly what happens. Don't listen to rumors or things that people say as if it's a fact when maybe it isn't, that they're just getting part of the story. So I think participation would be the one thing I could see getting better in Wakefield. I like to see people become involved. Whether I agree with them or not doesn't matter. And I think that would be best for the community. And the more people become involved, like a year ago, I bet you didn't think you'd be doing TV shows. But the more you become involved, it becomes very interesting. You learn things. We all learn things. And I think community involvement would be something that we could work on.
What's your favorite restaurant to eat at downtown?
My favorite restaurant to eat at downtown. Well, I am not I don't eat fancy food. I'm a very plain eater, and I only like a finite number of foods. I don't try anything new. I don't like my food touching each other. So I'm a very fussy eater, very fussy. But I have had delicious meals, and I'm going to go right down one. I've been to Cafe d'Italia, had a very nice meal there. I've been to Harrington's, had a very nice meal there. Oh God, I don't want to leave anybody out here. Come around the corner. I've been to Brothers. I'm going to go up that side of the street.
On the spot now.
Oh, I'm on the spot is right. No, I'm going to continue. Yeah, no, I've been to Artichokes, and I'm going to jump across the street. I've been to Artichokes. I've been to Sabatino's. I've been to, the Porch, is it? I've been to Zuza's Cafe.
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad. I've never been able to get into the Blue Moon Cafe down in Greenwood. It's always mobbed. What am I leaving out? Oh, my Lord. Sakura. I've been to Sakura. I've been to the one up by the lake that looks out onto Colonel Conley Field. Help me out. Bellino's.
Bellino's, yeah. Well,
help me out here.
We have a new one coming into town too, and nobody's seen that one yet. But restaurants. We're talking just restaurants, not takeout places, right?
She said restaurants.
Restaurants. Okay.
Please. Oh, let's not go too crazy.
Right, yeah. If we missed it, we'll hear about it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
I'll tell you what I love though.
What?
I love Nick's.
Yeah.
Nick's down at the Dunkin', they call it the Junction, I think.
Yeah,
the Jiffy Lube. Nick's I love. But see, I don't want to leave other, I don't want, but again, they have food that I eat and I like, and it's plain and it's simple. But speaking of businesses in town get business certificates at the town clerk's office as well. 4 years, $50. Breaks down to $1.25 a month. How easy is that? But that's an aside. But those are the restaurants I like. But I like plain food. Very plain food.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, all right. I knit a lot, and I have now. I think I'm on my 10th Afghan. When I get to 12. I donate them to Rosie's Place, which is a shelter in Boston for homeless women, a temporary shelter. Mm-hmm. And that's my shtick there. So I love to knit. And I'll do all different kinds, all different colors. I love to play bridge. In my spare time.
Do you have spare time?
I really don't. I used to go on cruises and lecture on cruises, but I don't do that anymore, you know. I do play. I will tell you the one thing I do play online is Words with Friends on Facebook, but I only play with 4 or 5 people. And may I say, Mark Sardella, who's in France now, on vacation, he and I are still going at it at odd hours of the evening. And
don't you? Every year they have a show at the West Side Social Club, and there's about 4 people that get together, and it's a
Like a trivia night?
trivia night. You're really good with that, I heard.
I used to do the, yeah, I'm really good. I used to do the Citizen Scholarship trivia night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
On occasion, I've done that. I like trivia a lot. Little useless, unknown facts. And I love sports, too. I like to watch sports. I'm a pro football fan. Green Bay Packers.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
I know. I know. I'm a Packer fan, always have been.
What do you think of the 4th of July parade?
What do I think of the 4th of July parade? Well, I'll tell you.
You better put WCAT in there.
I will.
All right.
Well, for 12 years I marched in it when I was on the selectmen. I also would then announce, when I got there, exhausted, down to the reviewing stand, I announced the parade from then on. And anyone that's in it, and people from the reviewing stand, and with WCAT that promotes it every year, and of course has it, actually it's streaming live, is it not?
That's right. Yeah.
And years ago it wasn't, but going back a lot of years. But I love the 4th of July parade. I don't like to travel out of town on holidays. I'm content right here. And I do announce it every year, and I've done that for, I think, 5 or 6 years, I don't know. And I enjoy it. I love it. I think it's a great community event. Yeah, so I enjoy it every year.
I heard you used to work at a sandwich shop. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I did mention that my sister and I owned Countryside Deli. It was right on the Wakefield-Linfield line, right across from, well, it used to be the old Kernwood. I go back, but across from the Eastern Bank. There's a strip mall there. And my sister and I opened that in 1980. And in those days, a lot of teachers were being RIFT, they called it, reduction in force. And so we hired teachers from Woburn, my hometown, and Tommy's hometown. We hired teachers that had been RIFT, and they worked for us. And we did have a deli over there, and we had it for 9 years until I ran for the school committee, actually. And we sold it on Christmas Eve of 1988.
Wow.
And by that time, any residual energy that my sister and I had, Joan and I owned it, all right, was long gone. Because we'd drive the kids over to Our Ladies in Linfield in the morning, come back, work all day, go pick them up, go to their games, and this went on for years. And it was fun. We met a lot of nice people, many, many wonderful people. And that was our first business. Was it our first one? No, it was us. Yeah, that was our first venture together. And the only reason we started it was we were in the backyard one day, sitting out by the pool. She said, you know, I'd love some chicken salad. And I said, well, Joan, nobody makes it like us. You know, patting ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
That was in August. We opened the doors on September 27th, Joan and Dick's anniversary, a month later.
Wow.
And the rest was history. Took off. I couldn't eat chicken salad for years after we left that place. We sold so much of it. But we had fun. We had fun. Met a lot of nice people.
What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about fairness. I think everyone should be treated fair. I got to be very careful where I go with this one. I think everyone should be treated fairly. I don't like to. How am I going to put this? I think would be a better society if people were sympathetic and were understanding of some of the problems that some people are facing. Okay? I'm passionate about involvement in politics, I guess I'll have to say. I think you, and I said it before, I think you have to become part of the solution and put your money where your mouth is, both literally and figuratively. I think we have to help anyone that's in need of help, regardless of what that may be, and regardless of the extent of help that they need for a period of time. I'm very, I think when you see a situation many of us are fortunate enough not to have been in certain situations, regardless of whether it's a situation with health, with economics, whatever. And I think we have to try to put ourselves in their position and walk a mile in their shoes, figuratively, just to see and try to understand and not be so judgmental. I'm a very non-judgmental person, or I try to be. You know, you can't judge people. You don't know what you would do in that position, how you would react, how you would behave, right down the line. So I think I'm passionate about fairness and equity and looking at a situation and trying to get the backstory about it, you know, and see, well, what made this person behave in such a fashion? You're never going to change some people's minds. So I'm not on some crusade to change people's minds. That's not what I'm interested in. I like to try to understand other people's views. So I guess that's my passion in allowing a freedom of any kind of information, or a freedom of whatever you believe in, and not make judgments about it. Because many of us are products of what we were born into.
That's all we know, yeah.
That's all we know. That's how we grew up. You know that.
Yeah.
And you're going to take on the values that you see your parents, all right? And that's what I think it is. And some people were brought up not maybe with the same values that we would have, or the same ideas, or how to do something. And I think we have to be very understanding. So I'm very interested in that. And every day, I'm telling you right now, maybe not every day, but darn close to it, I learn something. Or I try to. There's something out there every day, and I'll say, you know, I didn't realize that, or I didn't think about it. It's people that bring it to your attention, and you don't realize that. I won't get into it because we're going to do a program on it later, something Tommy and I were speaking about before this program, before you came. And it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I won't get into it because it would take too much time, but what am I passionate about? I guess that's it. I'm passionate about equity. People will accept almost anything if everyone's treated equally. But as soon as I say to somebody, everyone in this room here right now, all of us, we're going to go out, and because it just poured outside, we're going to go out and we're going to clean the parking lot. Oh, except for you. And I let someone off the hook. Well, the rest, you three should resent it then and say, well, why do we have to go out and he got left off the hook? But if you all have to go out, you can all gripe together for all I care. But there's equity there. And people understand being treated equally. And I would go out with you. I believe in any of the positions that I've ever had, other than teaching, because I didn't let the kids run the classroom, I can assure you of that. You have to be willing to do anything that you're asking anyone that works for you to do. No job is such, no position is such that you just allow other people to do it. You have to be in there and be part of it. And roll up your sleeves and do everything from sweep the floor to, you know, to get something ready. You just have to be able to do that. So that's my passion.
We have some time left here. Now it's your turn to ask Lily some questions.
All right, let's get back
You're on
to
the hot seat
now. You're on the hot seat. I'm not going to ask you any.
No, we're all set.
There'll be none of that. Lily, you start school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, many towns in the area have gone back earlier than. I was shocked because when Tommy said noon to Wednesday, I said, Wednesday, isn't she in school? I didn't realize that you weren't going back till tomorrow. So you're going into what grade, honey?
7th.
7th grade. So this will be your last year. No, you'll have
No.
one more year at the middle school. And what is your favorite subject?
English.
You love English. Tie in here. You'll be a journalist as
Yes,
well.
that's right.
Very interesting. And what is your least favorite subject?
Math.
Of course it is. And I expected that because you do know what I taught. Math. I will make it sometime. We'll meet on our own and you'll go in and you will love math. Okay? New teachers down there? Are there going to be any new teachers that you're not familiar with?
All the teachers I have this year, I've heard that they're nice and some are mean, but I'm excited.
Some are mean.
Yes.
Some are mean. I love that word. They're mean.
Boy.
Being mean might be that they really say you're going to do this.
Yeah.
They could be switched for conscientious. Teaching is a very noble profession, and I think that not enough time, energy, understanding, and I won't, well, I will, I'll say not enough money is in education. Do you enjoy anything other than the academics? Art, music?
I enjoy gym and music. 'Cause
And music.
I play the flute. So.
Oh, do you? You're a flautist, as they say. This is a very off-the-wall thing, but there is someone here in this room right now who, years and years ago, it's not Tommy, it's not Sal, lived right next door to a flautist. He's ignoring me right now, but that would be Ian McDermott. The next door neighbor was a flautist, I think with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, but that's neither here nor there. That's an aside. I'm a very big supporter of the arts. I think music and art are so, so important. We should never cut those, in my opinion. You know, it's part of the total experience in education, you know. So you start school tomorrow. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 0. I'm an only child.
You're an only child, oldest and only. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to compliment you. I love that dress.
Thank you.
And the shoes. I love the shoes. And her hair looks lovely, don't you think?
Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely. You're quite the package, as they would say in TV, that I'm sure will look very well in all of your shows. And
Thank you.
yeah, I think you did a very nice job. I thought your questions were good.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
what I wanted to pick up on that one too, because we got a couple of minutes left here. That Lily was with the kids' video club we had this year. Were you last year too?
Yes.
Yeah, so the past 2 years. And they did a wonderful job. They were here for the whole week, learning how to run cameras, audio, scripts, and they did a show, and it came out really nice. And that's when the talent of interviewing came out. And all of a sudden, here we are. She said, I'd like to interview the town administrator as part of the show, you know, and it worked out well. And then we got talking a little bit about it, and her mother said, Joe, she's really been interested in doing it. I said, well, let's try another show. And then I said, I know just the person that you'd like to interview. I did not know that you knew her at this time, Betsy. And I said, Betsy Sheeran, she'll take care of it. She'll be good. So we worked it out, and here we are. And I'm looking forward to some more people, and I think it's a great start for you. You certainly do a great job on it. You put some energy into making the questions, pointed, and you don't fool around. So I mean, it's really great. I'm really happy for you, and love to have you here doing some more shows.
Thank you.
I also, if I can continue complimenting you, I like the idea of the questions. They were very pointed. They weren't so open-ended that you say, oh, Lord, where am I going to go with that? You know, you're pretty. Also, you handle yourself very maturely.
Yeah.
You're not awkward. You're not stammering, as I probably was, because I wasn't 100% sure if you're going to change some of those questions. And I think you do a fine job, and I would keep with it. I think you'll do a nice... I'm trying to think of who could be next. Who could you do next? I have 2 or 3 people in mind.
We'll talk about that one.
Yeah.
You don't want to let them know right now.
No, spring it on them.
So get some more questions ready.
Right.
Now don't forget now, you got to change them a little bit.
Right.
But I'm real happy to have you here. Right. We all are, and we look forward to the next one there.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a great year, at the Galvin there and everything. So we'll be in touch, and we'll do another show. Think about somebody else you might want to interview.
Following up on having a good year and keeping in touch. When am I going to see you again? Offset, as they say. You're going to be visiting my sister at all? With Kaylee?
Yes, probably.
Probably sometime. Well, when you do, just step right outside her door and ring my doorbell, and we can say hello.
Okay, with that, we have 1 minute left, so I think we're going to sign off right now. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
Betsy.
Oh, thank you, Tommy,
Very
as
good.
always. And everyone in the...
At the crew.
At the crew.
Yeah, everybody. And we'll see you again.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily.
Thanks very much
Thank
now.
you.
Bye now.
Bye.